Recently, I talked to you about main reasons to avoid independent repair shops. Today, I'm going to go over some reasons to think about maybe avoiding a dealer. There might be times when it's better to go to an independent repair shop, so that's what we're going to cover today. But before we get started, if you want to see more content like this, car-related, car tips and tricks and things like that, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below letting me know what you like and dislike about this content. This way I can help you take better care of your car. So one of the main reasons that you might want to consider going to an independent repair shop to take care of your car and keep it maintained and roadworthy is for things like basic maintenance. Basic maintenance is something that doesn't take a lot of skill or training to do. If you can find a reputable repair facility that gives you good service and has people that know enough that they know what they're doing, it might be worth considering going to an outside repair shop instead of a dealer for things. So let's talk about things like basic maintenance. Tires are something where it might be better to go to a place that sells tires specifically. Goodyear stores or Firestone stores, places that sell mainly tires, of course, are going to do things like brakes and oil changes and things like that. Tire places are going to be a good place to go where you get people that have a decent amount of skill and they have experience dealing with tire specific issues, but it's also going to cost a lot less than having tires replaced at a dealer. A lot of times it's less cost effective for you to take your car there to have your tires replaced. It is good if you want to have the tires replaced with the exact same tire that the car came with from the factory, because they're going to have exactly the same tires. Audi and Mercedes and Porsche, they're all going to have tires that they worked with the tire manufacturer to create something specific for that model. And a lot of times you can't get that tire at an outside vendor. If you want options for the next tire set that you get for your car, that's a good time to go to a tire shop. So tire stores typically have a lot better prices than dealers because that's all they do, or most of what they do is sell tires. They get to buy tires cheaper because they buy so many of them. They are able to offer you a bigger variety over what your dealer might offer you, because your dealer has a set of tires or 2 or 3 or 4 options that are made specifically for that car, whereas a tire center, they deal with every car on the road, and so they have to have a large selection of tires that meet different criteria, different all-season tires, summer tires, winter tires, tires of all different sizes and categories and things like that. So they can really help you find a tire that's going to work best for your needs. A lot of times tire centers offer things like lifetime tire rotations or free mount and balance and things like that. A dealer just can't offer because they have a lot of overhead costs to cover. Tire centers, they don't have the same type of expenses, and one of the things they can do is offer you free rotations or free mounting and balancing. But the thing is, the free rotations, that's something that keep you coming back, and that's when they're going to find other things that your car might need for maintenance. And while that's not a bad thing, it's the same thing a dealer does. It just looks different to you because you don't realize that they're bringing you back with free rotations so that they can sell something else to you. Something else tire stores can offer that some dealers do and some don't is road hazard coverage. A lot of times the road hazard coverage is included in the purchase of your tires, especially with today's cars going to larger and larger wheels. The sidewall is getting smaller and smaller, and I don't know about where you live, but here in Pennsylvania we don't have the greatest roads. There are potholes everywhere. It doesn't take much to take out these low profile tires with a pothole. Before you know it, you have a bubble in the sidewall, which is a safety concern, so you want to get that taken care of. And road hazard coverages will cover some of that, or all of it, depending on what the literature says. So the next thing you might want to consider doing at an outside repair shop is something like brakes. Brakes are something that doesn't take a lot of skill to know how to replace. If you have somewhere that you trust and you know they do quality work, and they're not gonna just put some average Joe that just came off the street onto your car, that's something you can do outside of the dealer that can save you potentially a lot of money. One thing to note, if you do have your brakes done somewhere other than the dealer, you're probably not going to get original equipment brake pads. And why does that matter? Well, they're going to cost a lot less, and that's good, but there are reasons that they cost less. So the parts themselves are not going to be original equipment, so you may end up having brake pads that are noisier. You might have brake pads that cause more dust and make your wheels black faster. If you replace your rotors, you might have rotors that warp a lot sooner than your factory rotors did. And so you're going to get that pulsation in your pedal or vibration or whatever you want to call it that doesn't feel good. And it's because those rotors, if they're a lower quality, can't take the heat that they're supposed to take. And so what that equates to is a rotor that becomes looking like a wavy potato chip instead of being a flat surface. Here's something that if you can't do it yourself, try to not take it to a dealer for, and that's bulb replacement. Light bulbs are so small and they're inexpensive. To pay a guy that has multiple years of dealership training to replace a bulb unfortunately you're going to have to pay for that. And so it doesn't make sense a lot of times to pay, you know, $40, $50, $80 to replace one little light bulb. Wiper blades. This is something that, you know, you can stop by any part store and pick up any set of wiper blades you'd like, and a lot of times they offer free installation. In my experience, dealers also offer free installation, but you're going to pay a little bit more for the wiper blades. That can be good or bad. Two experiences I have that I can speak of from my personal cars. On my wife's Infiniti, they offer 2 sets of Infiniti wiper blades. One is an economy set and one is a factory set. So basically it's the ones that came off the assembly line with. I tried the economy blades because they were almost half the price of the factory set. They did not last nearly long enough. Within a few months they had started streaking and chattering and things like that. So I went back to the original equipment factory blades and have stuck with them on her car specifically because they've done very well. On the flip side, the wiper blades that I have on my Subaru, I've had 2 or 3 sets of factory wiper blades on that. They don't last very long, they're not that great, and they don't have a lot of value because of what you pay for them. So on my Subaru, I end up going and looking for aftermarket wiper blades. Aftermarket blades can be better than a factory, they can be not as good, they're always going to be cheaper, but you just have to kind of decide what you want. Try a couple different sets. And by the way, AAA recommends replacing your wiper blades every 6 months. So it's not always a dealer just telling you that they need to sell you wiper blades because they want to sell them to you. Technically, every 6 months, you should be changing them anyway. Things like safety inspections. So not every state has these. If you find a good, reputable garage where you can take your car to be serviced, that's somewhere else you can save a lot of money compared to the dealer. The key is finding one that's not going to nickel and dime you with purchases. Like I mentioned in the last video about the one mechanic always saying you need wiper blades. If you can find a shop that you can trust, take your car there for state inspections because it's going to save you a lot of money. Because again, they don't have to pay the technicians that have been trained by the factory for several years. Oil changes. This is a big one as well. Now, like I mentioned in the last video, I have seen a lot of mess ups by independent repair shops, but this is again where you want to find one that you can trust. You know they do good work. So if you can find a shop like that, you're going to save a lot of money here too, because you know, oil changes are something that's basic, but as long as you find somewhere that knows which drain plug to pull and not drain the transmission fluid, you'll be in good shape. Something else to consider with independent repair shops is that sometimes they have better hours. At a lot of repair shops like chain places, they'll have Sunday hours. They also have late hours. So, you know, if you have a job that means you don't get off of work until 6 or 7 o'clock, sometimes they're open till 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night for stuff like oil changes and stuff like that. So that might be a lot more convenient for you than trying to get to a dealer first thing on your way to work and get a loaner car and drop it off, and then picking it up before they close and things like that. So sometimes that can be a lot easier to coordinate. Now, if it's something larger, of course, I always recommend going to the dealer, but for basic maintenance, sometimes that's a lot more convenient. Something else to consider is where you live. If you have a car that's, you know, a brand that doesn't have as large of a dealer network, so for example, all the American manufacturers and Hondas and Toyotas, maybe Subaru, they're going to have a lot larger dealer network, which means that even if you live in a more remote area, you're still going to have a dealer within a half hour's driving distance. However, if you own a vehicle by a luxury brand or something like Fiat or more of the foreign companies, Alfa Romeo, Mercedes, obviously all the luxury cars, Tesla, manufacturers that don't have as large of a dealer network, that's something you might want to consider doing basic maintenance with independent repair shop, because if you live an hour away from your manufacturer or dealer, it's not convenient to go there just for basic maintenance. So that might be also something to consider as well. Another reason you might want to consider it is if you bought your car at a used car lot and they sold you a warranty. Depending on what that warranty is for repairs, sometimes dealers actually don't want to deal with those warranty companies, or if you do take it to a dealer, they might accept that warranty, but the warranty might have limitations. For example, say the warranty covers an hourly labor rate of $85 an hour. Well, what if your dealer charges $120 or $140 an hour, etc.? They are going to have a difference between what the warranty company is going to pay and what they have to charge so that they can cover all of their costs. So what that means is you're probably going to be liable for that difference of the labor rate. So if it's a $60 difference and it was a 6 or 7 hour job, that's $400 to $500 that you're going to have to be liable for that your warranty didn't cover. And it's something that you might not have known when you bought the warranty. Whereas if you take it to an independent repair shop, they probably will be a lot more in line with the labor rate that the warranty company wants to pay for. Additionally, If it's a warranty from that type that I was just mentioning, they might also not cover original equipment parts from the dealer. They might only cover aftermarket parts, or in some cases used parts. So if you have a repair that you took to the dealer to do and they're putting original equipment parts on it, you're going to have to cover the difference there as well. Or accept the fact that if your turbo goes bad and the warranty company only covers a used one, you're getting a used turbo and it might fail in a year, 2 years, a month because of the same reason that yours failed. So you're not really getting anywhere. So that's something to consider as well, is if you have a warranty with limitations, that might also be a good time to take it to an independent repair shop so that you can have as little out of pocket as needed. All right, I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I just remind you again, if you like the content, give it a like. That way YouTube knows that you like the videos and I can help bring you more videos like this if it's been helpful. Also leave a comment down below. Let me know what you found helpful or not helpful, what you liked and you didn't like, things like that. Can you find a specialist? This would be my optimal way to go. If you don't want to go to a dealer, you don't want to trust something like a chain place like a Jiffy Lube or a Walmart or something like that. Sometimes you can find places that specialize in specific manufacturers. For example, there are many places that are specific to Volkswagen, Audi, and Porsche. A lot of times they have technicians there that used to work at a dealer and are factory trained, and that repair shop also has purchased equipment that is comparable, not the same because it's usually manufacturer exclusive, but comparable equipment for diagnostics and things like that that can help keep your car running as the manufacturer intends without going to a dealer. So you could save a little bit of money there. A lot of times they're about 80% of the cost of a dealer, and they are more expensive than, you know, like a chain place, but you're going to have people that are a lot more knowledgeable. They know what they're doing. So if you can find a specialist near you, that would be optimal for not going to the dealer. All right, 2 last things we're going to cover. If you are a DIYer, I probably don't need to talk to you because you probably already do the stuff yourself. But if you are not, are there things you can learn to do simple things yourself, like changing a light bulb or checking your oil or your tire pressures and things like that? If you're a DIYer, there's not usually a need to go to a dealer. Finally, is your car modified? If it has aftermarket parts or is modified in any way, 1, you've probably voided your warranty from your dealer. But 2, sometimes dealers don't want to deal with modified cars because they don't know what you've done to the car. They don't know what kind of parts are there. If something breaks, a lot of times you're going to look for them to take care of that because it broke while they were working with it, but a lot of times it was because those parts are not up to manufacturer specifications, and the manufacturer, the original equipment part, might not have failed in that same situation. So if your car is modified, that's usually a good time also to take it somewhere else than a dealer. All right, so if this video was helpful for you, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get notifications when there are more like this, and also let me know in the comments down below if you like this video. Also, if you know someone else that might get some benefit from this video, feel free to share it with them. That way they can maintain their car a little bit better as well. And it also helps support me at no cost to you. So I hope to see you soon. Have a great day.